You're listening to Dave the IT Guy, coming to you from an undisclosed location. Do not be afraid. Dave is here to help with all of your security and hacking questions and news. We own them now, and we are in control. Sit back, turn it up, and let's get started in 3, 2, 1.
All right, I am Dave the IT Guy, and tonight we're going to talk a little bit about data breaches and security of these breaches and what can you do about it. I mean, honestly, we're getting to a point now where we're finding out about an important / large data breach almost daily. You know, of course, we had the Equifax breach just weeks ago. Well, actually, it happened months ago, but reported weeks ago. We heard about 140 some Americans, basically 1 out of every 2 being compromised. And then just this week we found out, that compromise was about twice as large as we initially reported. What does that mean? Well, if 1 out of every 2 were reported breached and now it's twice as large, hey, 1 out of every 1 is probably compromised. And then we find out that Yahoo was breached in 2013. Okay, that's 4 years ago. Most of us in this industry heard about that particular breach and we knew already that that was happening. Yet we find out now, because they were bought out and now they're being re-audited, we find out that it was close to 3 billion with a B accounts hacked, which means every single account that Yahoo had in 2013 was breached. So depending on what information you had supplied at that point or had supplied in your account was breached. That all that info was out on the dark web. So it's amazing. Before we get too much further, I want to play a quick message from one of my newest sponsors, 1-800-GOT-JUNK, and I want to say thanks to them as always for jumping on board with Dave the IT Guy.
Our trucks are on your street right now
and headed your way.
Goodbye, junk.
Hello, relief.
Call 1-800-GOT-JUNK
or visit 1-800-GOT-JUNK.com.
Right on. So again, thank you to 1-800-GOT-JUNK. I also want to say thank you to NordVPN. That's N-O-R-D as in David, a VPN. If you need a VPN service, recently they were awarded the #1 VPN service in all of the land. And I can personally vouch for them for their speed, their reliability, their customer services. Far and away above everybody else. I mean, 24 hours a day, you can just jump on the NordVPN.com website and get on their chat support window with a very knowledgeable tech person who can get you through whatever issue you're having. You can travel around the world and access VPN and use location-based services, which means if you are a U.S. citizen or a customer of, say, Netflix, and you go to Europe for a vacation and you want to catch a couple Netflix movies, you can simply log onto your VPN, connect to a US-based server, and watch Netflix from overseas, whereas normally you would be blocked. So they also have servers if you want to get on the Tor networks and other things. So again, NordVPN. I want to say thanks. Also to Disney's Circle, which is a gateway to allow you to control internet access for devices and people on your own personal network. Very good if you want to limit and audit your children's access from cell phones, tablets, school-based laptops, things like that. And, give them some incentive. Do the right thing, you get more internet time. Do the wrong thing, and we'll take it away. So that would be Disney Circle. For any of these links to sign up for their services, to buy what they have, to just read more, you can go to my blog site, which is dtig.net, dtig.net. So anyway, thank you 1-800-GOT-JUNK, thank you NordVPN, and thank you Disney Circle. Now, let's get back to the topic at hand. Let's talk a little bit more about all these breaches and compromises and all the things that you can actually do to help protect yourself, and unfortunately some of the things that you just can't do to no matter what happens. There are certain instances where you just can't protect yourself. So let's first talk about the things that you can do, and let's give you some examples of how they'll be helpful. So one of the very first things that you can do is educate yourself on the technology that you're using. So many people look at me when I start talking about passwords and security, and their eyes just glaze over. And they're like, Dave, I don't want to remember 15 different passwords. I can't remember, more than 5 letters or characters, and I don't want to have a big password. Well, I guess you don't really value your privacy that much either, because if you're not willing to put forth the effort to understand why you need a strong password, then you're not probably going to care when you get hacked or noticed that your private information has been compromised, because you're probably not checking your credit report, or you're probably not checking your 401k to make sure there's money actually there. You're not probably checking your bank account very much until you get the overdraft notice. There's a lot of things that you're probably not doing if you're also not willing to remember some passwords. Also, quit using simple words with a few numbers or an exclamation point at the end. All the hackers know that's what you do. We all know that you're too lazy and you're spelling dog with D0WG1 at the end, or a D@WG for dog, and all this other stuff. We know what you're doing. We do it too, or at least we used to, so now we know better. You should know better too. So start using 12 characters. Start using uppercase, lowercase, numbers, symbols. And some websites don't allow you to use the symbols. I understand that. And nowadays, some websites do allow you to even use spaces. So you can even get more tricky by using a space in your password. But start thinking of things that would be relevant to you. So if you thought, hey, I'm a software engineer with 3 kids and a dog, right? You can either type all of that out, and that would be your password, right? And throw some letters and numbers in there to throw it off. Or you can use some crazy stuff like, I am a software engineer, so 1 letter A, capital S, the number 3 for the letter E, and for engineers, all right? So the first letter of every word in that sentence. I am a married software engineer with 3 kids and a dog, right? Or whatever phrase. Use the first letter of each word to create your password. That way it can help you remember it, right? You can use sentences like I just said, all broke out. You can even type a sentence like, I am the best Dave in the world. And between each letter or each word, you put in the underscore or the dash, right? That'll help you separate the words out. There's so many ways that you can do it and have a very long password that has numbers, symbols, and letters, uppercase, lowercase, but yet keep it easy to remember for you, but hard to guess for the hackers, and damn near impossible for these automated softwares to guess. Nothing is always going to be 100% secure, so don't get that impression either. But if you have a 6-letter password with a number or 2 versus 12, the 6-letter password can probably be broken by a good hacker with good equipment in a matter of hours, whereas a 12-character password would probably be at least a number, of weeks, double digit, 10, 20, 30 weeks, or even months by someone who's less sophisticated. So please use passwords. Stop using the same passwords for multiple websites. Again, the same argument. I know people don't like to have to remember 12 passwords for 12 websites, and we tell you don't write it down, right? So you're like, well, did I use this password for that site? I know it's difficult. There are ways around that too. There are different encrypted databases that help you remember your passwords, and actually will even automatically log you into these websites. Now, I happen to use several. And I'm not going to tell you where I use them because I don't want hackers to try to target me or the company that I work for. So I'm not going to give you a lot of detailed information. But I can tell you that Dashlane is a database slash password remember software that I've used, and KeePass, which is spelled KeePass, is another one that I've used. And they are both really good at what they do. And as long as you set them up with some, you only have to remember one hard password, and that's the password that you set it up with. Once you set that software up, as you enter new passwords in, it will save them for you and remember them for you. And when you try to log into a website, they will automatically log you into that website for you. And if you happen to need to know what the password is, you can always open up that program and look. Some of those tools, like Dashlane, for example, you can download that software on multiple devices. So your home computer, your work computer, your cell phone, all of those devices, and they will sync and keep all of your passwords synchronized across all of them, so you can log in from just about anything to anywhere and not have to remember those passwords. So if you are going to try to follow my advice with multiple, longer passwords and not using the same one over and over, grab one of these KeePass softwares and help yourself out a little bit. All right, so we've talked about passwords a little bit. What's the second part of passwords that are important? And that's what we call 2FA, which is two-factor authentication. So what that means is that you have a password and you log into a specific website or you log into an application. And instead of just typing it in and logging in, it then, once you've typed in your username and password, it then sends you some sort of a notification. Now, it might just text your phone, or when you first set it up, the two-factor authentication, it might have asked you to download a specific program. And when you've downloaded that app to your computer, to your phone, your tablet, whatever, it then will send you a pop-up box, like a yes or no, and it'll say, it looks like you just tried to log in to google.com. Was this you? Yes or no? If you click yes, then it automatically logs you into the website. If you say no, it then blocks that attempt. Or it'll send you a text message that, of a code, 6-digit code. And you would type that code into a box on your screen, and then it would let you finish logging in. So even if you have a long password that somehow gets compromised, like in, say, these Google hacks, right? If you had a great password to Google, but Google on the back end didn't store their database very securely and it got compromised, then your data still got let out into the wild, even though you had a hard password. By having two-factor, even if somebody knows that password, it doesn't let them finish logging into anything until you've said yes to that two-factor authentication. That is the key methodology to keeping your stuff safe. It is for every opportunity that you can have two-factor authentication, do it. Now, I use two-factor in just about anything. I have Google Drive. I have Google, for email in some cases. I have banking apps and other applications. They all, even Twitter and other places, they all ask you for, do you want to set up 2FA or two-factor? And when you say yes, it says, okay, you have these ways that you can set it up. Which way do you want to do it? And then you configure all of that, right? And now, if somebody tried to hack my account, even if they guess my passwords, it still prompts me to say, hey, was that you just now? And I can say no, and it blocks it. That also gives me an indicator, somebody's at least guessed my password. I better go change it, right? So two-factor authentication, that's where you want to be. So passwords, 12 characters or more. Don't use the same ones over and over. Get two-factor authentication. Now, the next step to really start securing your stuff is VPN, Virtual Private Networking. Now, we talked initially about NordVPN as one of my sponsors, but why is VPN important? People say, well, Dave, I don't need VPN if I'm trying to connect to my work network or whatever, and that is false, completely false. You should be using VPN everywhere. It's very easy to set up, especially Nord, and that's who I'm going to use for all my examples. So NordVPN, You can download it to 6 different devices using the same account. So put it on your computer at home, put it on your wireless router at home. We'll talk about that. Put it on your PlayStation, your Xbox. Put it on your cell phone, right? Put it on all those places. And then every time you use that device, all of your traffic is encrypted. Now, for cell phones, that's the obvious thing. You jump on a guest wireless somewhere. If you start typing in passwords, people on those guest wireless networks could sniff the traffic and steal your information. Not hard to do, not hard at all. So cell phones and laptops are obvious. Put it on. Everything that you ever do, use a VPN and keep your data encrypted. But you want to talk about PlayStations and Xboxes or other gaming type devices. Why would I do that? Well, these days, or even on your wireless router, that's even more important. Let's use that as an example. So at home, your wireless router, the more modern ones, have the opportunity to automatically set up a VPN within the configuration utilities. So you can go in and say, okay, here's my VPN, here's the actual service I use, or they might ask you to upload some sort of file or something else, and then put in your passwords, username and password for the VPN service. And then anything that goes out over your wireless connection or even your wired connection at home is automatically encrypted. Now, why is that important? Well, you might have more than 6 devices, right? So you can't secure, devices number 7 and 8 using a service like Nord that allows you to use 6 at once, right? So by using it on your wireless router at the source, everything behind that, so everything that's in your house is encrypted by default. Where this is important are things like what we call IoT, Internet of Things. So things like your smart TV, your Nest Gate thermostat, your Google Home device, or your Alexa device, right? All of these things are using internet connection, and most of them are not secure when they're communicating out over the internet. So, for example, your smart TV, you pull up Netflix app on your smart TV, you log into Netflix, and you want to watch a movie. Well, your smart TV is sending that login information in the clear initially. Now, of course, it's logging into Netflix, which is supposed to be secure, blah, blah, blah. But by default, it's sending a lot of that info in the clear, meaning it's not encrypted. The same for your Nest device. You might be uploading it to a back-end server somewhere that you don't even know is happening, right? Some of these devices build certain services embedded, and if you're not a very tech-savvy user, you may not even know it's uploading certain information to the person or company that built that hardware, that software, right? You don't even know it's uploading them user-based info. By encrypting your traffic at the source, which is your wireless router, that stuff is now encrypted when it goes out over the internet. Nobody's just going to sit there and sniff it and steal it anymore. It's encrypted. Now you're as safe as you're ever going to be. So that's a great place to use VPN. Of course, there is VPNs that your company will provide. And so like a NordVPN is basic internet VPN, right? Everything you do on the internet, no matter what, is encrypted. But when you're using that type of service. But like an employer's VPN provides you the ability to only connect back to your employer's network, and that particular traffic is encrypted. So for example, you're traveling for business, you're at the hotel on the Wi-Fi, right? You connect to your company VPN. Everything that you do talking to your company, like checking your company email and things like that, is now encrypted in that tunnel. But depending on how your company's IT people set that VPN up, you might still get on the internet, like go out to google.com or cnn.com or whatever, and your data to that traffic is not encrypted over your company's VPN. Sometimes it is, sometimes it's not. But if you're not very tech savvy or your IT people haven't told you that, you may not know, right? So what do? Well, yes, you might have 2 VPNs. You might have a VPN that is back to your company, and when you're done doing your business, right, you're done checking email, or you're done uploading the latest spreadsheets, for sales reports and things like that. You disconnect that VPN, and then you launch your other VPN, your NordVPN. Yeah, sounds like a lot of effort, but really you're talking about 20 or 30 seconds of effort here. And that difference is, now I'm done with my work, and now I want to play on the internet. But I don't want all these crazy people that's in the hotel also using guests to be able to see my traffic. What if you had somebody like me staying in room 301? You're up on the 6th floor in room 605. You're surfing the web, you're checking your Netflix, right? You're watching some movies, you're checking your Google Mail. Maybe you're doing some things you probably don't want the general public to know. Well, if somebody like me is also on the guest wireless, I can track all that traffic. I can watch you surfing the web. I can watch you log into stuff. I can save all that data, and I can go back later and start deciphering it and guessing all of your info. Now, if you're using a VPN, all of that traffic is going to be a bunch of gobbledygook to me, and I can't do anything with it. So why would you not use VPN? And we're talking about, for Nord, you're talking about something like $39 to $59 for 3 years worth of service. Unlimited service, 3 years, $59 at most. Why would you not do that, right? Why would you not? If you have a small company, why wouldn't you even go to your company and say, hey, you know what? There's 6 of us or 3 of us or whatever that travel on the road. We all need this service. So even if your company does not provide VPN, that's an even better reason. You get something like NordVPN, and you can still connect back to your company and do all the things that you would do without a VPN. You can still do it with a VPN, but now even your company's protected. People don't see what your login information back to your company is, right? So now everybody's protected. And for $59 a year, why would you not? I mean, it's just ridiculous. No reason why you wouldn't do it. All right, so we've talked about big passwords, right? We've talked about two-factor authentication. We've talked about all the places that you would use a VPN and why you would use a VPN. Now, let's talk about some of the bad things that you can't control. I briefly brought it up, like with the Yahoo hack, that you can do all the things in the world that's right? You can use a VPN, you can set up long passwords, but if the companies that you're communicating with, like a Yahoo or like a Equifax or anybody for that matter, your local insurance agent down the street, right? If they don't secure their data on their side very well, and somebody hacks them, then even if I created a 12-digit password with two-factor authentication, they've stored all my private data on their servers. So all my cell phone, my social, my date of birth, my insurance info, my address, my kids' names, all of that stuff, it's all stored there. If they didn't encrypt their database correctly or set it up correctly and it got hacked, all that information got released anyway through no fault of my own. And there really isn't much I can do. There's really no standard right now to be able to sue companies for this type of breach, although I think it's coming. But, suing people for data breaches, whatever, that takes a long time, right? What can you do right now? Now that we know Equifax got breached, what are we going to do? Yeah, you can get some free credit monitoring, and that'll do a little bit, but that's reactive, right? By the time you see it on your credit, it's already happened. Now you have to go fight, whether it be days, weeks, months, years, whether it's free to fight it, whether it costs you money. It's still a hassle, and you still have to go through the fact that your information got used, and you have to get that undone. So not only do you want to do credit monitoring, but you want a service that's identity theft type of monitoring. We've all heard about them on TV, so I'll use them as an example. So some free promo for them, but LifeLock, right? They are the proactive type of service, and there are others, so you can look them up. But LifeLock, they are proactively monitoring for fees that range from $9.99 a month to $15 a month to $30 a month for the high end. You see the promotions for LifeLock that says, hey, $1 million service, and you turn over the problem to us and we fix it. Well, that's at the $30 a month level. So for $30 a month, if something happens, they go and fix it. You call them and say, yo, I have this. But at $30 a month, you also download an app to your phone. And in real time, they're like, hey, did you just apply for this mortgage? Or did you just try to buy this car? Or Are you buying this gun at the pawn shop, or are you doing this and that, right? So all of this stuff, now it's a quick yes, no on the app. They pop it up on the app. Was this you? Yep, that's me. All right, cool. We'll let it happen. No? Okay, we're going to stop it. And how do they stop it? Well, depending on it, they'll stop the financial transaction electronically, or they would call that business and say, hey, that person that's in front of you saying they're Dave, the IT guy, well, that's not who that is, because we protect Dave, the IT guy, and we just contacted him. That's not him. So you might want to call the police or something. You have fraud going on in your business. So get an identity service, which is proactive in real time right now protection, versus credit monitoring, which is just after the fact alerting you something's already happened. You're going to have to go figure it out on your own. So there you go. Data breaches, what can you do about them? The good, the bad, and the ugly. At this point, we're looking at one major data breach a day just about worldwide, and that's the ones that are reported, and like we found out with Equifax and Yahoo, even though the data breach might happen today, they may not report it for months, and by then, if you're not using a LifeLock or some other type of service, even credit monitoring, you probably still wouldn't know until they reported it, and still be in trouble. So do it. Take my advice. Find yourself a KeePass or another type of password service like a Dashlane or whatever. Start changing your passwords to longer, 12-digit or more. Stop reusing the same passwords. Start using two-factor authentication, and go find yourself a great VPN service. And like I said, NordVPN, N-O-R-D VPN is awesome. You can go out to my website, dtig.net. There's a review of them out there, plus a link that you can click and take you right to their sign-up pages. So there you go. Whew. I usually try to keep these things down to 30 minutes or less. Right now we're about 27, so that way you can listen to these podcasts in your car, on your jog, while you're exercising, or whatever. Download it through iTunes, listen on the Spreaker or Stitcher apps. Check me out on iHeartRadio. You can listen to me in real time there at 6 p.m. every Wednesday Eastern, or you can also download and listen to them after the fact. So thanks again to 1-800-GOT-JUNK.
Our trucks are on your street right now.
And headed your way.
Goodbye, junk.
Hello, Relief.
Call 1-800-GOT-JUNK.
Or visit 1-800-GOT-JUNK.com.
All righty, 1-800-GOT-JUNK. Thank you to them again. Thank you to NordVPN, and thank you to Disney Circle, as always, for being on the Dave the IT Guy team. Thank you again, and to everyone listening, hey, thanks. Spread the word. A lot of great topics. I upload one new one a week, and sometimes I do two a week if the situation warrants and something really happens that I think we need to get the word out about. I'll update this podcast. You can also see some written articles that I put together at dtig.net. I don't always talk about all the articles that I post on our podcast, so check me out there, dtig.net. Sometimes it's not the dire stuff like this, it's more fun. Sometimes it's product reviews, things like that, so check it out. Again, thanks for checking me out, and send me a tweet, send me an email, reach out if you have a question about technology you'd like me to answer. Shoot it my way. I will certainly involve you in my next podcast, and would love to have you around. So that's a lot. It's a busy day today. So thanks again. I am Dave the IT Guy. Until next week, see you later.